jumping on with us too.
All right, cool.
Good old Canadian hoedown.
Little roundup.
Okay, shit. Okay, I can actually. Okay. Apparently I can go to the other room right now.
Oh, sweet.
The wife's not teaching for now. All right, just give me a minute, boys. Get set up.
All good.
Derek might be drunk. I don't know.
So this is Brian and Derek, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
You look like a bad guy wrestler.
I'm good. I want to get a little more jacked up.
So I'm having trouble remembering things. Like I'm not as good at like when I'm drinking, I'm way more functional, John.
Yeah.
Did you find that when you phased out?
No, we're a different breed, you and I. You amaze me with your functional alcoholism.
I feel like I've lost an edge.
Oh, that roast is fucking with you.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just like I can't remember shit as well. Anyway, I'm just gonna start drinking again.
How are you guys doing with all this madness?
I mean, I've been okay. Like there's not much happening where I live, but John's kind of down in the epicenter of it.
Yeah. I'm in Jersey.
Right. Sure.
So, there's 10,000 in the state alone. It's fucking nuts. It's really nuts. The Facebook feed's getting a little fucking sad, man. It's like, I'd say 4 or 5 times a day. It's like, there's somebody's like, man, my parents, somebody's fucking parents kicked the bucket.
Yeah, man. I try to stay away from that a little bit. It does get sad.
Yeah. But, one of my buddies is a Trump supporter, and I was like, fuck, man, like, what's it going to take for these guys to jump ship? And his mom died today, and I wanted to say, I guess it's not going to be 4 more years for her.
Well, that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Right?
But he will wreck me.
That's fucking. Some of them are such racist pieces of shit. They're never going to jump off the train.
I know it. They're too invested for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is fucking wild. It's a wild phenomenon. Let's see where Derek Seguin is. He's been texting me. Oh, there he is. Nice.
Is there any word about comedy opening up at all? Any kind of clubs or anything like that?
I haven't heard anything.
In different states, so my buddy has been negotiating deals with drive-ins, like drive-in theaters.
That's smart. I had that idea too.
Yeah. So it looks like something's going to go next month.
Yeah, right. Not a bad idea.
So that's going down. But then there's some states opening up. Somebody just said they got a weekend in Florida in like 3 weeks. Florida does not give a fuck.
That's wild. Should I sell my stand-up special to a bunch of drive-in theaters?
Yeah.
Selection takes forever.
All right, boys. Let's do it. All right, we're good, man. We're rolling.
All right.
Let's
You
jump.
guys ready to go?
I should get an add-on too. Can you get my toque?
I'm out in my garage.
Let me get a hat.
Jumped up at me.
No way.
All right. Hey, you're checking out another episode of Fight Stories. This is Tyler Morrison with my co-host John Moses. We have some guests from all over now. This is a Canadian roundup, but we got Derek Seguin, and he's in Brassard, Quebec.
Yeah. Let's get specific.
And Brian Aylward is you're out in Bangkok. Holy shit!
That's right.
Yeah,
What's up, everybody?
The international episode.
Oh, man. So much to talk about.
Yeah, man.
You're in Thailand, Brian?
Yeah, man. I've been living here for 4 years.
Holy shit. Thank you.
Yeah. when I'm not on tour, I stay here. My wife teaches at international school, so this is where I kick back when I'm not touring around.
So when you are Brian, I'm John, by the way, fellas. I don't think we've met. My name's John Moses.
John.
Yeah.
What's going
Yeah, I
on?
know you, man.
So Brian, when you're touring, where are you touring?
Everywhere, man. Everywhere. I mean, I've done a lot of Asia. I was supposed to do it the Middle East and America this summer. That got canceled. I do Australia, man. All around the world.
Wow. And you fly into fucking Bangkok. That's so crazy.
Yeah, man. Because I lived in Asia before. I used to teach English over here, and I just loved it. So when I went back to Canada, I was just like, no, thank you. And I just found a way to get to Thailand. It's just beautiful here. So it's a great hub too. It's a great place for flying in and out of. It's actually really great travel-wise.
Huh? What is it? Is it under lockdown over there?
Yeah, I mean, just starting to open up a little bit the past week. Like you can go to restaurants with social distancing. I mean, there's still curfew from like 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
And will the cops fuck you up over there? If you're out on the streets, will they just walk up and taser you? Like they don't give a fuck?
Even a cane. The cane.
Cane, right.
There's a curfew from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. and you definitely don't want to break that, or your ass will be going to jail for sure.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's technically a military dictatorship, right? So I mean, you don't fuck around.
Right. Well, I guess it does. It helps with the spread.
Yeah, man, it does, I guess. But I'm staying put till June anyway, and in June I think I'll start. I think the club here might start opening in June slowly. I don't know, but right now there's nothing.
So how many of those little fuckers do you think you can take on at a time? No, just kidding.
Man, I don't know. In Thailand, I'd be careful because everybody knows Muay Thai.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Thailand's like one of those countries where, plus they got the black blood mixed with them, so they're like particularly athletic. If you look at
yeah, man, they kind of pride themselves that they've never been conquered. So I don't know, man. I mean, I've done Muay Thai for a few years, but these guys grow up doing it. I mean, I do. I go to a lot of fights, actually. I love watching it. But you'll see guys here that are only like 18, 19 years old, and they've had 300 fights.
Fucking amazing. Like human cockfighting.
Madness. Yeah. Madness. Like they practice their kicks on palm trees and shit.
Right. So how often can you see that? Like every Friday night you can just go and see.
Oh yeah, you can see it. You can see it every night if you wanted to. There's a couple of big stadiums here in Bangkok, and like I'm connected to the guy who runs Full Metal Dojo, which is like the biggest MMA outlet here in Thailand. Wow. And I'm gonna actually start doing some writing for them and doing some kind of punch up. So like I go whenever I can.
Oh, that's cool.
That's wicked.
I know Muay Kib, so I'm fine. I'll fucking take them all on. Just blow smoke in their eyes and smash a beer bottle over their head. That's Muay Kib. But Brian, where did you live in Canada when you were here?
Well, last place I lived was Halifax. Well, actually, no, it was Newfoundland. I went home just for a year.
That's what I thought. Since when the fucking Newfoundlanders called Newfoundland Canada? You called the rest of the fucking country Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
The original separatists.
Yeah, man. I mean, I lived in Halifax and home in Newfoundland, but I was home in Newfoundland and met my current wife. She's from my hometown, so kind of convinced her to come to Asia, and we've been loving it ever since. So yeah.
Great.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Good, man. You guys need to get over here, man. There's a nice little run you can do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have some friends that are living there, actually.
Huh.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, maybe when the world resumes.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on some stuff right now, actually, and getting some sponsorship and kind of fly out Canadian comics out of Vancouver. Because once you get here, everything's taken care of, your hotels and all the regional flights, just kind of getting here. But if we can get that covered,
right?
I keep telling guys how many funny fucking dudes are home and ladies, and so yeah, hopefully we can get that going now in the next year.
Yeah, man. Great. Once
I honestly want to go just to watch like the fucking fights for a few days. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, man, it's so fun. Yeah. Last time I went was with Tom Rhodes. You know Tom Rhodes, comedian?
I know who he is.
Yeah, we went to the fights. It was a great time.
Incredible.
Yeah, he likes going international, Tom.
Yeah, he's very international. Actually, the first time I saw the fights, speaking of fight stories, I went to this place in PP Island, and a bunch of my friends went. we were watching this fight, and the two corners kind of got into a shouting match, and then one of the corners took a chair and fucking whipped it. One of those soldiers whipped it at the other corner. It flew over the ring and smashed one of the girls we were with in the beak and broke her face.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, man. Not good.
Oh, shit.
That was not a good time.
Oh, sounded like a good one for me.
Did it turn into a brawl after that then?
No, man, we were just scared. We were like, okay, time to get her to the hospital and time to get out of here. This is
Right, but between the corners, did the corners explode or not really?
The corners explode. And actually, like, what I found later was a lot of these tourist fights, they're kind of fake, right? Like, these guys are so good at Muay Thai.
Yeah.
They can fight and make it look like it's legit, the way they hit and how hard, but it's actually fake. But for some reason, these guys had some beef, and it was actually at a fake fight.
Huh.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Well, like regular wrestling, it's fake.
And that's and it's fake because I guess people are betting on it and like the fix is in, or
yeah, and just they don't want to hurt themselves. They're just trying to make that easy money, right? They're just smashing each other, but they're blocking it, or they know how to kick or punch. Like a random person would not know the difference. It was hard enough for me to tell. I mean, I trained Muay Thai for like almost 4 years.
wow.
And just they're so good at it, man, and so fast. It's really hard to tell.
That's crazy.
Did you ever get in a scrap out there when you were training?
Yeah, I had a couple in Korea, and because I was a heavyweight, right? So there's not a lot of heavyweights out here. Like, I mean, if I was a lightweight or small, I wouldn't even bother because I'd get murdered.
Because those guys are so quick, right?
Yeah, so I would just fought a couple of fat old Korean dudes, and they could still kick because of Taekwondo. But I mean, I did a bit of boxing when I was younger, and I was fairly athletic then. So yeah, I did okay.
Did you ever get in a fight out in the streets though?
Oh yeah, I got a couple of those. Yeah, man. I'll tell you
With
what.
fat Korean women.
Well, this one crazy one was it was with my ex-wife. We were hanging out in a place called Itaewon in Seoul, South Korea. That's where I was teaching English at the time. And so we get in this taxi, and my ex gets in the front, and she wants to work the radio, turn on the English station. So she, we drive back to where we're living, and I get out the taxi. I'm in the back seat. She's in the front seat. And all of a sudden, I hear her scream out, "Brian, he touched my pussy." And I was like, "What?" By the way, pussy is what Cape Breton girls call their vagina. But so I was fucking confused, man. I was like, "What?" Like, I didn't even understand what was happening.
You thought somehow it was still lost in translation.
Yeah, man. I mean, he just reached over and grabbed her on the way she was at the taxi. So I walk over to the taxi, kind of going, "Dude," but I mean, he didn't speak any English. I didn't speak any Korean. So I was just recently married. So I was like pointing at my ring finger, just going, "Dude, that's my wife. Like, what the fuck?" And he gets out of the taxi all aggressive. Like, I'm like, not even apologetic. And I'm like, what's happening here? Anyway, then just by fluke, this is like 3 a.m. Then the cops roll by. And of course, I'm the black dude now in this story. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, fuck.
Like, I didn't do anything. They get out the taxi. They come over to me. Then he lies to them and tells them that I basically didn't pay him enough money and that I was being aggressive. And I was like, and then I'm trying to explain to the cops, pointing at my ring again, who touched my wife, doing all this crazy pussy pantomime, And, it was horrible, man. It was horrible. And then the most random thing. So, and then they kind of tried to take my hands and put them behind my back. They want me to get in the cop car, and I'm like, I'm not getting in that car, man. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then the random dude walks by. Again, this is like 2 a.m, and he has a badminton racket on his shoulder. That's just normal in Korea. Dudes play badminton 24 hours a day. And he just starts screaming out like, "Miguk miwa, miguk miwa," like saying, "I hate Americans," right? He doesn't fucking know. He just thinks I'm an American. And I'm standing there. So it's me and my wife, 2 cops, taxi driver.
Pussy grabbing taxi driver.
Yeah, some pussy grabbing taxi driver.
And a fucking pro badminton player.
Yeah, right. And then all of a sudden, the badminton guy out of the blue just punches me in the face in front of the cops. He just smashes me. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I just flipped out. I just reacted. So I just grab him, smash him in the face, and I'm like, fuck it. While I'm at it, just as well to get 2 for 1. So I smashed the taxi driver too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so my wife is flipping the fuck out. now I realize, okay, I fucked up. And luckily, I had a friend of mine who was staying with me at the time from home. He was just becoming a teacher in Korea. So I said, go home, get Scott, meet me at the cop shop, you know, because obviously I got to go with these guys now. So I jump in the cop car, go to the cop shop, the Mukdong police station. Mukdong is a city in just outside of Seoul.
It sounds like you're just making fun of them.
Yeah, man. And I'm sitting here like, okay, like I fucked up, but I mean, you know, they assaulted my ex, and like, what's happening? And then they started telling me, so I had to wait for a translator. And then they started telling me that I broke this guy's orbital bone, and then I broke this other guy's expensive glasses, and I'm gonna have to pay for this. I'm like, no way, man. Like, first of all, how do you know I even heard him? He hadn't gone to the hospital. And I mean, you can get nice glasses anywhere in Korea. They were just lying to me.
Because they were trying to take the cash themselves.
Yeah, man. And they were sitting kind of close to me and like laughing at me and mocking me and shit. So I was getting so pissed off, right? And then the translator shows up, and I tell her what happened, and she's like, okay, I understand, but this is Korea. You're going to have to pay these guys $600. I'm like, fuck that. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. You know, like, they sexually assaulted my wife, and now they're extorting me. Like, not a chance. So I said, I'll get the embassy involved. Like, throw me in jail for the night. I'll get the embassy involved. And but then my wife and my buddy showed up, and they were like, don't be stupid now. Don't go to jail. This is really dumb. Blah, blah, blah. But long story short,
had to pay the cash.
Yeah, like long
So
story short,
your wife showed everybody her pussy, and you got out of jail free.
My ex ended up paying them $200 and got me out of the situation, which was probably the smartest thing. But yeah.
And then you
I don't know,
to pay her the $400.
The fucking cab driver out for grabbing your wife's snatch in Korea. It sounds kind of worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it, I guess. Yeah, it's a decent story.
Especially since she paid and she's your ex now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Nice. And Derek, you've had a few scrapes, I'm sure, eh? I always.
Yeah, that one sounded way crazier though, but the behavior of the cops sounded just like the cops that the one cop and with his fucking little buddy security guard that arrested me in Niagara Falls.
Oh, this is classic.
At the Yuck.
Yeah, Tyler might have told me the story. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it sounds hilarious.
Yeah, once they fucking arrested me, it was like they're just rattling off. Yeah, so I was playing the club. It was my first ever gig with Yuck Yucks too. I'd just gotten the job. Like, oh my god, I'm a professional comedian now. I'm making dozens of dollars a show now. This is the best. And so after the show, whatever, it's in a casino though, so I have a gambling problem. Immediately after the show, I went gambling. And then wasn't getting cards, whatever. And I just, you shoot the shit at the table, you're drinking. And I said something like to the dealer, I'm like, oh, hey, Jeff Foxworthy, give me some cards. I see, I'm not getting any cards. Fuck, did he not take that well at all? Called security over because I called him Jeff Foxworthy. Yeah. I'm like, that's not the biggest insult I could have given. But so this little security guard come over who looked like fucking the flyweight Muay Thai kid, except no skills of fighting, just a big chain of keys that he goes like this on all the time. So I hate this guy right out of the gate, and he's telling me I have to leave. I'm down like $700. I'm like, I'm not leaving. Fuck you, you little dwarf. Get the fuck out of here. So we get out. Finally, I say, yes, I'll leave because I don't want to fuck up my employment, even though I've already lost more than I'm making on the weekend.
By a long shot.
Yeah. So I get outside, and it's like, okay, so I walk out the door. I'm outside now. I'm outside the fucking building, and it's long and fucking escalator, and it's walking with me the whole way. And I get outside, and there's a little yellow line, like 6 inches in front of my feet. And he says, you have to leave the premises. I'm like, I'm outside. I see, how much more leave can I be? And he's like, no, you have to cross this line to be off the property. I'm like, listen, you little fuckface, twit, key jerker, fucking cocksucker. I'm going to smash your fucking head. And he's like, oh, that'll be another story, all right? You got to leave the premises or I'm going to call the police. And I'm like, yeah, fuck away. Go call the police. I see, go do something. In my mind, I'm going to smoke my cigarette and I'll leave in 5 minutes. By the time the police get here, I'll be gone. No, he meant call the police, meaning the guy that's standing right there named Chuck. Fuck. He's like, Chuck, this guy's trespassing, and now I'm fucking under arrest. And now this guy, they fucking obviously work together often. He's like telling me, oh man, you've got trespassing, you've got fucking death threats on a agent
Dwarf.
of the security. Yeah, big thing. And I'm like, you mother. Now I'm just so mad. He handcuffed me and everything. There's a little mini police station in the casino. They bring me in there. And now I'm calling the boat. Like, this guy's the fat guy. This guy's the dwarf. You fucking both are pieces of shit. Laurel and Hardy cocksuck, fuckface, whatever. Get downstairs. The guy turned out it's OPP too. It's not even, it's OPP that monitor casino. So we get downstairs and the fat cop, the real cop, still have me in handcuffs too. He's like, sit down and shut the fuck up. And I'm like, you sit down and shut the fuck up, you sweaty fat fuck. And he's like, sit down. I'm like, shut the fuck you. And he tried to shoulder block me into the chair. Like I'm standing in front of a chair, but I'm handcuffed. So he tried to put me in the chair by like football tackling me, like grab me and put me in the chair. And I saw it coming, so I just turned sideways. So I have good, I have better from the side to take a hit. I'm better center of gravity or whatever. And I hip check him from flying. This fat fuck went flying right into a filing cabinet, like right in the ribs, because he had his arm out like that. Right, his arms are out like that. And he went and smashed right into a fucking filing cabinet. And the sound he made, just like, I'm like, oh shit! And I sit down in my handcuffs. I'm like, okay, sorry. Hey, what's up, everybody? Did you slip? Is there a banana? What happened? He got up fucking mad, like flashlight thing under the chin, and the other fucking the little dwarf guys. I don't know what he's doing. He's just going like dink. Now I'm in shit. Now he's like, oh fuck, assault on a police officer, attempting to evade arrest. He's listing off all these charges, and at the end he's like, oh fuck, I think you're gonna do like 15 years, buddy. I'm like, what the fuck? I was telling dick jokes 40 minutes ago. So they're really intimidated. The security guards like, this guy don't fuck around. You're really in big shit, man. Fucking these keys. Fucking, I don't know, whatever. You have more charges on you than I have keys. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so fucked. So I sit there and they're laughing at me and they're like, you're in fucking so much shit. We're filling out look at that. We're on page 7 of the report already, taunting me. And I'm like, freaking out. So eventually I'm like, hey, I took a fucking pre-law class at Concordia University back in 1992.
It's about to fucking worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, you have to give me a phone call. You've had me here for 2 hours. You have to give me a phone call. And they look at each other like, I think I've heard that somewhere before. Didn't fucking Matlock bring that up on the last fucking episode? So they let me use the phone, but I have nobody to phone. I'm in Niagara Falls. I'm from, like Tyler said, I'm from Brassard, Quebec. What am I going to do in Niagara Falls? So I'm like, who can I call? I'm not going to call Mark Breslin. I don't want him to find out this at all. The only one I can think of. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm being railroaded. This is police brutality. This is abuse of power. Fuck it. I called 911 from the little police station in the casino. And I'm like, hello, yeah, hi. I'm at the Niagara Falls Casino and I'm under arrest. And she's like, what, you're under arrest? You're in police custody? I'm like, yes. And they just beat the shit out of me twice. So I need you to send police. And she says, well, you're with the police. And I'm like, yes. So let me talk to the police that you're with. And I'm like, no, you can't talk to those police. We need new police down here. We need a whole fresh batch of police.
Call the police on the police. Hello.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Fuck, you guys won't believe it. This guy shows up maybe 40 minutes later. You walk in the room, which it's just a room in the casino, hidden, whatever. But I guess a cop knows where the police station is. You walk in the room, he look at me and he's like, what the fuck? And he sees the cop who it was. And I could see on his face, he goes, oh, jeez. Like he knows this guy's a fucking douchebag, right?
Yeah.
So he walks in, he says, are you the one that called the police? I'm like, yes, I'm the only one here. Yes. He says, give me a minute. Let me go talk to the officer or sergeant, whoever, whatever. Goes in there. They talk. The only information, still haven't spoken to the Niagara Falls, the city cop, just from what the 911 operator told him was enough for him to go say, what the fuck? Talks to him for a second, comes to see me. What happened? I'm like, I was gambling. Then I'm in here because they kicked. Oh, Corona.
Oh, you got it, dude. Oh, no.
Jesus.
Final podcast.
Every time I smoked still, right? At the grocery store, I cough like that, and people stare at you like, what the fuck? I'm like, don't worry, it's just lung cancer. And they're like, oh, phew, that's such a relief. Phew, I'm dying of cancer, you cunts. Anyway, so he talked to me for like 2 seconds. I tell him what happened. I said I was gambling. Then they fucking get all power trippy, and now I'm under arrest. And this guy, fat fuck, fell, and now he's mad. And he's like, all right, give me a second. Goes and talks. 2 minutes, he's talking to him. He come out. He said, listen, if you just come with me, don't say another word, we'll just leave, and it'll be finished. And I'm like, fuck, that sounds great. Let's do it. So he uncuffed me, give the cuff back to the guy, and we're leaving. And I'm like, see you later, guys. I couldn't help myself. And then this, the fucking new cop got mad. He's like, what did I tell you? I'm like, I'm sorry. See you. Bye. He left. And he drove me back to my hotel. So that's the moral of the story. Whenever I tell the thing is, if ever you've gambled all your money at the Niagara Falls Casino, try to get arrested and then call another cop and they'll drive you back to your hotel. You don't even need to pay for the cab.
Dude, that is probably the most practical piece of advice anybody's ever given out on this podcast, other than hit them 1, 2, 3 real fast.
It would have been great if you got to go back into the casino and tell Jeff Foxworthy you're smarter than a 5th grader.
I tried to go in. That was like 2008 or 2009. I went in last year to that casino.
Wow.
Because they opened a new club in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
I went into the casino. And the new club's not in the casino. It's across the street. So I'm like, oh, fuck, I still want to go gamble. I went in. I was there for about 40 minutes, and the camera picked me up. Like, no. I'm banned for life from the place. The camera picked me up, and somebody came over and said, excuse me, sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And I'm like, why? What do you mean? Well, I'm just sitting here. And they're like, well, we think you know why. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of know why.
Wow.
Oh, like 10 years later. 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's nice to know that I still look as youthful as I did 10 years ago. my face recognition is still...
I know, but was it like the camera's face recognition, and somebody watch and be like, I don't like the looks of this guy?
Could have been that too, I guess, because once I was there for 10 minutes and nothing happened, I was like, hey, isn't this great, everybody? It's so nice to be in this casino. Looks so new. Did you change that? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, it's a good tale.
It's awesome.
But I was worse for the wear after, though. I definitely took more of I was handcuffed for the whole time that they were roughing me up. I had like all fucking like scuff mark under my chin and that, under my eyeballs.
Was that like the Friday night of the weekend or
the Thursday night?
Was it Thursday? Oh,
my first show of my first ever Yuck Yucks weekend.
So what did Yuck Yucks say about it? Did they?
I learned that weekend that Mark likes a little bit of throw the TV out the fucking window of the hotel, kind of rock and roll fucking comedian behavior, you know. But then the story got the story, you know, like the broken telephone among comedian too, is like a couple weeks later, I think Rob Pugh went and he got banned for life just for a drinking thing. Then Heidi Foss had one too many beer and they fucking banned her. And this all happened over like a month. I guess after me, they're cracking down on the comics for any little thing.
Right.
Then the story gets switched around and fuck you, Seguin, because of you, we can't drink in that club anymore. You shouldn't have punched that cop. See, why would you have a knife with you? You know, like all these things. What do you mean? No, I didn't punch the cop. I was just harassed.
You learned how comedy felt on your first weekend. I love it.
It's crazy. I can't believe that 911 worked though. That's crazy. I don't even think of that. That's great. I know.
Yeah. Alcohol can breed some fucking incredible ideas.
And all downhill since then.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, because even like I guess because I'm already with the police, like calling the police is the last thing I would do under any circumstance. Like literally anything could be happening and I would never call them. Like my house got robbed and my girlfriend made me call them. I'm like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Just gonna fucking trap, which is what they do. They just walk around my house. We're like, oh yeah, it's fucking, oh, it looks like this is how they got in. Oh, you mean the door that's lying on the floor now? Yeah, that is good fucking
They kicked off the
conclusion.
hinges. Yeah, I'll call the cops on the neighbors if the music's too loud. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, my neighbors do that all the time.
Yeah,
That's why I especially have no affection for them.
yeah.
So
I was living in Brooklyn for like 10 years. We'd have neighbors having fucking quinceañeras at parties going all through the night, 5 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, you know. Finally, I called the cops. She's like, sir, there is nothing we can do. And I go, all right. And I called back. I said, there's a woman getting strangled in the backyard next to me.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, that fucking party was shut down.
All right.
you
Attempted murder.
guys
That's
have
another
toured
trick.
pretty extensively as comics. Have you ever had any hecklers try and fight you, or like, you know, after a show, people
I
wait?
had a weird one a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now in Fredericton. Well, 2 that I remember, but this one was it was a Christmas show at the Delta Hotel in Fredericton, and about 500 people. And it was me, Paul Warford, and Shane Ogden. I'm closing it down, so I'm on stage. Everything was okay until then. Then I get on stage. There's a lady in the front row, and she's pretty fucking hammered. And there's no real stage. It's just a little tiny, just riser. And she just thinks she's going to get up and walk up on this riser and try to grab the mic out of my hand. And I'm just like, no, man, you're not getting this mic. But then, of course, the comics, they come over. I'm thinking, okay, but there's no security. You'd think there'd be security at Christmas. No security anywhere to be seen. Everyone is just sitting there watching. So Ogden and Paul come over. I'm like, wait, perfect, boys. Let's get this girl out of here, right? And they just take a picture and fuck off. So there's actually
the brotherhood.
It's so great.
Yeah, I'm reminded of this because someone sent me the picture the other day. It's a picture of me. I'm literally on this riser in front of 500 people at Christmas, and I'm face palming this girl. I literally have my hand on her face, trying to keep her away from me. And her boyfriend, her husband, whoever he was sitting there. He wasn't doing a thing. I eventually get her off the stage. Then she sits down, starts crying, makes a fucking scene, ends up having to be escorted out. But that was pretty nuts. But not a heckler situation. But 2 years ago in Cambodia, I was doing a show, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And we had a good little show, and then we jump on motorbikes to go out and have ourselves a night. And as we are coming out of the venue, we take a right, and there's a guy running down the road just shooting at another guy.
Wow.
And just with it, man, we were fucking terrified. We turned around, went back, and there was a gate that was outside the venue. We closed the gate, and we just got fucking hammered. I think we were all in shock, and we just drank till the next morning.
Fuck, at least that was late at night. I was in Hamilton, Ontario, and that happened at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I was going to get breakfast.
It's called happy hour.
Yeah. Another round of toast, boys. Is that happening a lot, like in Cambodia? Like, is it a little lawless?
Yeah, apparently it is. It's getting worse, apparently. But yeah, I haven't seen it though. But I go there a lot. I love Cambodia. I mean, it's on the border here in Thailand. It's a great place to explore. But yeah, it's getting pretty lawless now.
Wow.
But that's the first time I've ever seen anything. I've heard stories, but I mean, we were literally. Apparently, there was like this kind of nightclub full of gangsters across the street that was super shady. So apparently, it was connected to that.
Oh, okay.
Chinese gangsters.
In Cambodia.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
were trying to take over Cambodia now. They pretty much own it.
Like you still resort, even though you've been there for so long, you still resort just to call them all Chinese?
No, it was actual Chinese people.
No, it's actually people. Yeah, man. Come on.
Right.
Don't get me caught up in a Bryan Adams situation.
Yeah.
So, Brian, how
Chinese
big?
people everywhere, John, believe it or not. They're fucking everywhere.
Even in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right.
These people.
No,
So how big are you?
Cambodia isn't near Jamaica. Did you know? Let's clear something up here. John's coming off as a fucking geography retard.
Wearing a cowboy hat.
Cambodia is not close to Jamaica. Cambodia is quite close to China.
Yeah, but there's Chinese people in Jamaica, was the point.
Yeah, okay. They're everywhere. They're
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah. That was me putting an exclamation mark on the point that you made. Even in Jamaica.
They're like the coronavirus. They're everywhere.
Right. They spread.
Wow, that sound. People are gonna react to that.
So Brian, how big?
Chinese people and coronavirus in the same sentence anymore?
No one listens this long.
So Brian, how big are you anyway? You said you're a heavyweight. What are you, like 6 foot?
Me now, I'm about 6'3", 260.
Okay. So when you're out there, you're kind of a target. You know, you're not like a target, but you're a pretty like big, imposing dude out there, aren't you?
Yeah, but that's not the energy I give off. In Thailand,
Right.
honestly, they don't give a shit. They let you just go about your thing. But in Korea, it was more intense because, you know, Korean dudes get fucked up and they get pretty aggressive.
Right.
I mean, I've had stories. It's more my black buddies, my black friends. I had guys who were on dates with random Korean girls. They would just get jumped by strangers and shit.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, Korean men, it's kind of a thing in the culture. If they're older than you, they kind of run over you kind of thing. So I would have random dudes come up to me in restaurants, just rubbing my head. They'd be drunk as fuck off soju. But no altercations. They were just drunk old idiots.
Right.
Yeah,
but yeah, you get people laughing at
is huge
shit, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm on an elevator and the door opens, you'll get people go, oh, and shit like that.
Like a little bit of a celebrity. My buddy was
more like I'm a monster.
Right.
But that happens all the time.
My buddy was teaching English in South Korea, obviously not North, and he was on bad papers. Like he's from Toronto too, and he just like there were bullshit certificates. And I guess the word got out that they had like these bullshit certificates, and they're like, "You guys got to go before you get busted." So they jumped on a plane to come back to Canada, got stopped at the airport, and were in lockup there for like 3 weeks.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of. I mean, you can buy a degree here, and there's a place in Bangkok, a street you can go and basically buy anything you want.
Wow.
Right.
A lot of people get those fake degrees and just try to hide over here.
Yeah. Not a bad move.
No, man, it's not a bad move.
Especially if you like the lady boys.
Yeah, man. It happens. Everybody got a ladyboy story the longer you're here. Listen, the ladyboy here is like still a 7 in my hometown.
Oh yeah. People would probably go there, marry, and bring them back.
Yeah, because boys back home be like, "You ever fuck a lady boy yet?" Getting on with that shit. I'm like, boys, you have no idea. You'd make the mistake sober, you idiots.
Yeah.
So, Derek, have you had any run-ins with hecklers and stuff like that? Like,
I had one recently, like in October or November. I was doing just a stupid bar show in Ottawa. And I guess I talked to everybody in the audience. I got on this one guy, you know, this kind of guy, the guy that sits there like, I'm too cool to laugh.
yeah,
That was the vibe I was getting. Turns out that's not the vibe the guy had. The guy was, I fucking hate everybody, and I'm just looking for somebody to punch in the face. So I kept making fun of him, and then like started talking to his wife. I'm like, what the fuck's his problem? I'm like, she's like, oh, it's nothing. And I'm still not getting the seriousness of the vibe. I'm like, Madame, are you okay? Just blink twice if he beats you, and I will help you. We'll do something. And she's like, like super blinking. I'm like, oh shit,
stroke it out.
This isn't
like
getting
182.
The guy just fucking gets up and walks straight at me, and I'm standing there. I'm like, oh fuck, like what do? Do I wait for him to hit me, or? And he just walks up to me. He's like, how tall are you? I'm like 5'9". But like right up on me on the stage. And he's like, huh. And he just walks away and then proceed to beat the shit out of the bathroom. Like the fucking hand dryer is getting smashed. Fucking the doors are being smashed. And like at one point I just decided, let's try to make this show still fun for these 150 people that are still here and see if I can save this, see if I can make it still a fun thing. So I'm joking about the whole thing. It was like, holy shit, he's really, I know how hard it can be to piss with a boner, sir. And just fucking the whole bathroom, there's fucking rolls of toilet paper flying out of it. Like, it's just going fucking nuts in there.
Yeah.
But then he came back out and stayed for the rest of the show. So I ignored him after that. I learned my lesson that he's not going to contribute anything fun to the show. But why the fuck would he stay? I'm like, why didn't you just leave?
The theme here is that nobody does shit when you're on your own.
No, nobody. No,
you know.
The fucking. I think the bar owner thought that we were in cahoots. Like I bring this guy to every show to fucking make that little
terrorize the bar, right?
When the show was over, though, I did go out to the parking lot to find him, and he was the first one out, and
long gone.
I didn't get to fucking do anything. Another time, though, at the Ajax Yuck Yucks, I do jokes about my kid a lot. Anyway, I was saying something, and at one point, I was just like, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot! Just shut up." They were just loud and shit, drunk kids. And the guy stands up like, "You shut up, fuck you! I'll fucking rape your daughter." And I lost. Dropped the mic, jumped over the table, fucking grabbed the guy. They start fucking running, whatever. Steve, the guy that ran the club, ran them out. He's not that big, but he fucking ran two guys out by the collar. Yeah. And other people are trying to hold me back.
Yeah.
Getting to where they're going. And
he had that protecting his investment rage. Like, get the fuck out of my club.
Steve from Ajax?
Yeah.
Steve from Ajax, yeah.
He doesn't fuck around. He was telling me a story about smashing a guy's face with a rock in Iran.
Yeah, he's also like third dan black belt in karate or something.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But doesn't look physically strong.
No. Like,
He's a slender build guy, but two guys by the back of the collar fucking dragging them out. And I've got the whole rest of the table stopping me from climbing to them. And then within 10 seconds, it's finished. And I'm just kind of like, oh, all right. And I went back on stage. And I'm like, oh, that was weird, right? I'm like, oh, thanks for holding me back. I wasn't really that mad. If I would have got to him, I would have been fucked because I'm pretty hammered.
The king of fight segues. Back into getting the show running and going smoothly.
I remember watching Jeff McHenry doing a show in Toronto one night. I forget what the bar was, but it was a pretty full event. It was during a festival, and there's this crackhead just wanders in off the street and starts heckling McHenry. McHenry's not a fighter, obviously, if you know him. He's a very timid guy. He doesn't like confrontation like that, and he wasn't doing anything. And this guy is just
like that. He doesn't like interacting with other human beings, period.
Yeah, exactly. The only time he's comfortable is on stage, and then this guy's fucking that up, right? But one of my buddies was there, and then there's this other big guy who used to be a comic. They come and they just grab this crackhead and they're dragging him out. And McHenry, I see the moment where he notices that they've got this guy and he's not getting anywhere near him. McHenry just starts fucking laying into him. It was the perfect, like when the linesman coming in a hockey fight and you're just throwing cheap shots.
Yeah.
Oh, it was perfect.
Oh, that's so funny. Right. I've told this story on this podcast before, but what the hell? I was in Boston and I was doing an all black show, and I've done that room before, had a good time. It can get a little rowdy in that place. And the host of the show was this old dude, friend of mine, but fucking blew his leg out or blew his knee out playing football. He hobbles, overweight. He looks like one of the first guys that would go from COVID. Like you pick him and be like, oh man, you better isolate. He would always share up the room. He'd always be like, you motherfuckers better show respect. And people would just listen. So I'm on stage, having fun, and this big motherfucker comes in. I'm like 6'3", 225. This guy was about 6'4", 260, but fresh out the fucking joint.
Big boys.
Yeah, and he comes in, maybe he was 245, but he comes in and he tries to blow past the door guy and not pay any money. It's like a $10 cover, right? But he's really giving this old guy a fucking hassle about it. And the door guy is almost fucking blind with diabetes. He is that old. And the fucking show is being disrupted. It's like, dude, what? You're going to violate your fucking parole over $10? What's the problem? So he turns on me in a fucking moment. And the crowd's laughing, and I'm zipping him. And the more I'm zipping him, the more you could see him starting to like fucking puff up to come and like charge the stage. And the more I feel the danger, like I can't fucking help myself, right? So my buddy,
even the staff,
who normally shares the room, goes up to him and he's got this face on like he's about to tell him to shut the fuck up. And I see this from the stage, like he's going, shut the fuck up. And then the guy just leans into him and says something menacing. And I watch my buddy like just melt and he goes, ugh. And then I realize, no, fuck, I am alone. But I'm still fucking performing. Like you still gotta fucking kill and keep the show going, right? So he was with two other guys that were a little shorter than him, but just as ripped. And I noticed at one point, one of the guys was trying to sneak close to the stage. And I was like, hey man, are you fucking trying to sneak up and fucking snuff me to give me a sucker punch? And he goes, yeah, I was. And I was like, oh. And the place laughed. And somehow I get the show back on the road, you know. And then at the end, I go, all right, guys, if you guys, I said, thank you so much. I'll be outside in the parking lot rolling around on the ground with the Predator over here because he had these big long dreads. Like if only I didn't do that last little fucking knife jab, you know, maybe I would have been okay. So normally after this show, you got to wait like an hour and a half for your money. This is the fucking first time ever the host hands me the money as I'm walking off the stage. And then my other buddy goes, hey man, I think we should leave. And I was like, fuck, I'm not leaving. I'm selling merch. I looked, and the three guys that walked in are now 6, and they've circled me like a fucking pack of sharks. And I went, oh shit, you know what? You're right. Let's get out of here. I turned around and ran out the fucking door. I didn't stop running until I hit the car. The old security guard watching yelled, you don't have to run, white boy. Fuck that.
Oh, man.
Some of the shit that you fucking deal with, eh? This isn't a fight story, but it's a heckler story. There's this chick, and it's always chicks that fucking hate me. I rarely have trouble with dudes heckling, but there's this really drunk woman. I was hosting a show in North Bay. It was, it was Sundridge, near North Bay. Ryan Horwood put it together. And there's this girl in the crowd, and she's heckling and just interrupting the show the whole time, but so drunk, she shouldn't be out in public. They should have kicked her out right away. No one did anything about it. So I'm gunning her down all show, trying to, keep the table clean for the comics coming up. And she disrupts the whole fucking night. This fucking ignorant cunt. And everyone in the crowd is pissed about it. I couldn't believe they didn't get rid of her. There's a big draw, like a prize at the end. I can't even remember what the prize was, but it was glass. I think it was like a bunch of beer glasses and some drinks and stuff. And it was a nice little prize package. So before the raffle at the end, I found out what the girl's name was because it's a small town, right? I get her name and I pull her name purposely in the grand prize draw at the end, and the crowd is so upset. People are booing. There's this woman's like, no, this isn't right. Like people are standing up, screaming. I'm like, sorry, fair is fair. She won. Come on up. And she comes up on stage and she's so excited that she won, and everyone's booing. And I just take the prize and I just smash it right on the start jumping on it. Ah! Fuck you, you fucking cunt. Get the fuck out, stupid. Just cheering.
Oh, that's great.
Good thing she didn't have a boyfriend. I probably would have got my ass kicked.
You're rolling out of that class.
And there's yet another fucking room that you fucked up. Paul Horwood's like, oh man, I just got this venue.
Or we'll go home for another 7 years because of me.
Fuck, I was working on the car all day. I just realized I'm all dirty. Rolling around on the ground. Fuck.
Yeah,
I haven't even had breakfast yet.
Oh, fuck, that's right. It's 6 o'clock in the morning over there, or whatever it is.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I got one for you guys. My best friend had just moved to Korea, and we were out hanging out in Itaewon again. It's the place, the big expat neighborhood hangout. And so we go to this club called the UN Club. It's a hip hop club, real shady place, right? So it's a perfect little perv.
They always are.
Yeah, right. And so we're hanging out. My buddy was really interested in one of the waitresses. So he was chatting her up. But he's a real shy guy, so it was just painful to watch. But I was just there with him, had his back, you know. I'm like, all right, buddy, we'll stay here as long as it takes, you know. And then I wanted to go get some more money. So the ATM was just down the road. And I guess as I left, some random dude came over and started pawing at the waitress as she's talking to my buddy. And they got into a shoving match, ended up getting kicked outside. So I'm walking back from the ATM. And I look up the street, and there's my buddy and another guy, another friend of mine, and these other two guys. They're just throwing hands in the middle of the fucking road. I'm like, what happened? I was gone like 6 minutes, you know? And I was wearing this orange French cut shirt at the time. I was hanging around a lot of Africans. I had too much confidence. And yeah, I was walking up the road, and I was like, perfect time to practice my new flying elbows when I just started doing Muay Thai. So I just because my buddy was like, he's the nicest guy in the world, not a fighter, and it was scary, man. I'm like, what's happening? So I just ran up and kind of just threw a bow, beat this guy, and busted his shit all over my shirt. And I guess these guys were known for causing trouble at this club. And to this day, like years later, like I went there on tour 2 years later, I can walk into that club, whether I'm with 10 people, 20 people, we all get free shots. Like the lady never forgot it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Free shots, and you ruined a hideous shirt.
I've ruined a hideous shirt. I know. My African buddies were more concerned about the shirt.
I don't even know what a French cut shirt is.
I don't even know how to explain it.
Probably all my shirts. It's probably all my shirts.
The one with the fruity cuffs and collar.
Oh, okay. Well,
makes perfect sense to me.
The fat dude on Modern Family wears them all the time.
Right.
Oh yeah, the fat dude. He wears Hawaiian shirts, doesn't he?
The ones with the big cuffs and shit. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it.
Oh yeah, with the French, the cufflinks. That's French cuff.
Yeah.
Fruity.
So any last tales?
Any last tales?
Yeah, I just realized that there's been a theme of this, and I've seen Fight Story. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a fighting podcast, right? Probably should have had one where I threw a punch at some point.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to be particularly good at it to get on this podcast.
I haven't had a real full-on fist fight in like years now.
Right. Well, how old?
Me too.
47.
12 years fight free.
12 years fight free.
Although my wife is here and she told me I should tell you the story about when I slapped a cop in Korea 6 years ago.
Oh yeah, perfect.
So that was a weird one. The same kind of thing, man. It was taxi, and I was by myself and started arguing over the fare. Got into a shouting match late at night. Cop showed up again, and it was an older cop and a young cop, and the young cop got out of the car right away, had his billy club, and he was coming at me, and I was like, fuck this. Like, I was terrified, but I'm like, I'm not taking a beating here. And I lived in Korea for 6 years, so I kind of knew how it was. Like, if you're older in Korea, you kind of do have some authority, like, regardless of their position, even if it's a cop. Like, this guy was probably like 26, 27. You know, I was like 40. And so he came at me. I'm like, I'm not going to hit him, but if he comes at me hard, I'm going to smack him in the face as hard as I can and run. And so he came at me, and I just leaned off and just smashed him in the face, slapped him, like open hand, slapped him. And then I just kind of stunned him. And then the older cop kind of knew that the younger cop was a little too horny. But I got lucky because my neighbor saw the thing go down, and she knew it was wrong, and she kind of came out. And then so basically the cop was like, okay, you got to pay this taxi guy some money, some extra money. And I didn't have any extra cash, so I had to wake my wife up. And she was all confused. I was like, listen, I just slapped the cop in the face. We got any cash in the house? Yeah, just paid them off, and they fucked off. But if my neighbor hadn't have seen that and kind of witnessed it and vouched for me, like, that would have been jail time.
Yeah.
Do they carry guns there?
You did it.
No, they don't carry. Do they carry guns? I can't remember. I don't think so. No, because no, they don't. They never used to anyway. No, because we used to watch literally like cops and Nigerians fight every weekend in Central Seoul. That was just a thing. Because there was like a whole like kind of this alley of like nonsense that would go down all the times. Cops would come down and get straight up beatings with just random Nigerian dudes. So I don't think they had a gun or they would have pulled it. I can't remember.
Right. I love that both of your wives had to pay off Asian cops.
Yeah, right. It's so random, dude. This is not I'm certainly not bragging about it, but shit happens.
And it was just hush money? Like wasn't like a ticket you were paying? It was just like...
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. The taxis do that a lot there. They try to rob you. They lie. They say they'll give you a discount, then they don't. So they were just like paying the extra $10 that he's asking for. So of course, in that situation, I was like, "Yeah, man, just get the fuck away from me." You know. So that was.
So you gave it to the taxi driver, not to the cop.
Yeah, to the taxi driver. Yeah, the cop. The old guy knew that the young guy was kind of out of control. Like he literally got out of the car, no questions, and just came at me with the club. It was fucking scary.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I was by myself.
Wow.
Yeah, that must be fucking. How often, like, do you feel like out there, like, where you feel like you might be in jeopardy in those situations? I mean, because now you know the language, but you know you didn't always.
No, I don't feel bad at all. Now, actually, in Thailand, I lived in Bangkok now for 4 years. Like, I would never. I mean, I don't really do that shit anymore anyway. But I would never do it here. Thailand, they don't fuck around. If you if you kind of disrespect somebody openly in public, it's considered very super rude. Like shit'll go down. Like there was a story about.
It's a monarchy, eh?
Going out 4 or 5 years ago, some guy got into a fight with a taxi driver, like a fist fight over whatever, and the taxi driver pulled out a machete and just started chopping him.
No fucking way.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I mean, you don't fuck around in Thailand, man. It got nothing to do with your size.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
yeah.
I don't
At our size, Brian, we're just tender for the machete. It's nice and fucking.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's a monarchy, though. Thailand, is it a monarchy?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And that's all I'll say about that because I want to still live here.
Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, the cuisine is delightful.
Everything's awesome.
Yeah. Well, all right, boys. I don't know. I feel good.
That was a great
satiated. If there's nothing.
Good love.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, fellas. Even though it's not, really meeting you.
Yeah, man. Nice to meet you.
It is what it is.
This is fun. Quarantine. Talking on my laptop. Fucking seriously, I have a better relationship with my laptop than I do with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Fucking talk to this thing all the time.
Right. Yeah, I'm doing more shows now than I was before.
Fuck.
All right, fellas.
Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, man. Anybody
take care, man.
Anybody plugging nothing? Something?
See you around.
You got anything you want?
Not really. I got a new special coming out, but I can't say too much about it now. But it was just picked up by a major U.S. distributor.
Nice.
And it's called Big in Asia, so I'll be able to talk more about it soon. But that's be coming out in the next 2 months.
Oh, wicked! Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So that was pretty lucky during this time, considering we all lost our fucking jobs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm putting out a new album.
Like that's awesome.
I'm putting out a new album next week, and I just got super lucky. The last 2 shows on March 14th, I taped the 2 shows for an album. And it had been planned for months, but turns out those are maybe the last 2 shows I fucking will ever do.
Right.
So now I'm
awesome.
I'm using it to put out an album. Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Right.
So yeah,
called
watch for it, guys.
It's called the Panderic.
That's awesome. That's a great title.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, fellas. Thanks so much for doing it, man.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day, Brian. Have fucking got the whole day ahead of you.
Sleep well, boys.
Cheers,
buddy. All right.
See you guys.
Later.